The free education or free secondary education is a long overdue. And I think that many organizations have been calling upon the government to do something about it. And the government have successfully responded to that. And I also want to love to ask not to look the free education introduction as a narrow thing. It's a broader concept that is aimed to address poverty. It's a broader concept that is aimed to address inequality. It's a broader concept that is aimed to create access to those that are unable to come closer to share the national cake. That's why schools should not look this on the very, very, very narrow ways of thinking that materials might be delivered late, the money allocated per child is inadequate, all those kind of things. It is more than that. And that's why as an organization we are commending the government in doing so. Our only hope is that in the next 2 years they will extend it to tertiary education because we believe that if you want to eradicate poverty, there are only 3 important things in the Namibian context. 1, it is free education or education for all. 2 is the health. 3 is agriculture.
Now, speaking of free education, one would think that having secondary and primary school now as free for every Namibian child is obviously something to be euphoric about. But surely there are some challenges that also arise with this implementation. Maybe you can highlight them for us.
You see, challenges are administrative in nature. There is no challenges at all, because the challenges that one can pin out is that the government might dispatch the money to the schools very late. The materials might not be bought on time. The money allocated might not be enough, adequate to cover all the school's expenses. Those are administrative issues. And I believe that if these issues are brought to the attention of the government timelessly, there will be an intervention. So any challenges that are coming with that, it is completely administrative in nature. And that's why also we should also not try to punish the innocent one, the parents in this case, which the government have relieved, just because we have few individuals that are lazy in public service in terms of doing their job on time, and then we have to go and punish innocent one who are not even haven't seen how does a Ministry of Education offices look like. So we should at all times not cover for the failure of others. It's a high time that we need to expose each other so that we can become effective and efficient in terms of the service delivery.
When will this free education for secondary schooling be implemented? Because even in the beginning of this year, as children went back to school, there were still some reports of some schools that are expecting parents to pay. And if that is the case, where can they report this if this is wrong?
The school free education have started 1st of January 2016. And of course, as an organization, we are also have received complaints of some principals who are misbehaving. That is all the best word that you can use against those principals who are still want to force the parents to pay. They're just misbehaving. And not forgetting that when they are employed as school principals, they are ambassadors of the government, and they are required to implement the government policy fully. If they have concerns about the government policy, there are channels that are always there to raise that issue, not to block the smooth implementation of that policy.